Hello, everybody. Toast to you and all you do. I am doing double duty. I am at the store right now working, and I figured I would make a video. And it's funny because as I was setting up for this video, I was thinking about it, and I was like, I should invite people here so that when I do these things, there are people here and it's not just me and the camera. And then I started making a video, and then I had customers come in, and then I had more customers come in. And so we're going to try again. I'm going to run out of coffee restarting this video, but that's okay. I love having customers come in. I also think that it was like the energy is telling me, yeah, you should have people in the store doing this with you. And so I think we're going to try to work it out on the schedule. So if you're in the Denver area and you want to come down, we will be talking about the dark moons and the full moons and the astrology that goes with them here in the store. And it'll be exciting. So hopefully the next time I film these, maybe not the next time because it's only 2 weeks, maybe the next dark moon, probably the next full moon, a lot of people in the store, and it'll be exciting. So, I'm down here in the store. I have my yarn wall behind me, which we make little yarn creatures. So that's why all the yarn is here. So, let's talk about the dark moon and the solar eclipse and all of the astrology that's happening right now because we have some really big things that are happening. And we'll start with the solar eclipse. So, this is happening on Saturday the 14th at 10:55 a.m. if you are in the West Coast where you're going to be able to see the eclipse, like up in Washington. So the line that the eclipse goes is from like Washington all the way down to Central Texas. And this will be, pretty sure it's called an annular, excuse me, an, oh, excuse me. It's called an annular eclipse. And it will be the moon in front of the sun leaving that red fire. So this is a very unique dark moon, and that normally we don't see the dark moon, hence why it's called the dark moon. But this one we'll be able to see because it's going to be out during the day. And so it'll be beautiful and big, and it's going to create this solar eclipse. Now this is a second eclipse on this Aries Libra axis. This one happening in Libra, and it is going to be, I feel like a moment of like click, like aha, the things are just going to come into light. Just like we're going to see the whole solar year's energy in one short period of time, we're going to have that kind of revelations and all of the things that we've been that have been happening. With this Pluto square and retrograde and all of the big trine between Pluto and Uranus and Neptune, we have just had truths and deeper insight and these all just everything coming out into the open. Big things, big truths, dark secrets, deep secrets, feelings we didn't know we had, just all kinds of things coming to the surface. And I think that this eclipse is really going to be that moment when we're like, oh, now I understand. Now I'm learning that lesson. Now I can really process all of the stuff that I've been learning and seeing and hearing. And then I'm going to be able to move forward and heal. And it's just going to be that moment where you're like, I get it. You take a deep breath. Okay, I understand. And you make peace with it. And you really find that balance and harmony. Being in Libra, it brings this harmonizing energy that brings everybody to the table. It brings all of this information, like all of the different perspectives, all of the different people, energies. And ironically, in this, we have a huge conjunction happening with the moon, which we'll get into in a minute, which brings so many of the energies to the table. So it's not just metaphorically speaking with the energy of Libra. This moon specifically, all of the planets are very intertwined, very connected. We have a magical rectangle going on, which is also encompassing like so many things. So we'll get to all of that. But Libra is bringing all of this to the table. And Libra reminds us that we need to find balance in ourselves, in our community, in our different aspects of life, and to move forward without a heavy heart. So, the scales of justice are the symbol for Libra, but I often think about the scales in Egyptian mythology where your heart is weighed against a feather. And sometimes this is pushed as the like, how many good things have you done versus bad things? And it's not necessarily that kind of weight. This is the weight that you carry on your heart. How many things weigh heavy on your heart? So it's not necessarily bad things that you've done. Well, maybe it is. But all things that weigh heavy on your heart and all things that you hold on to unnecessarily. And we are reminded to let those things go. Libra is a very youthful, joyful, happy energy that, oh, look, I have customers. Hold on again. No, I'll be right back. See, just yet another sign that I need to have people in here. This needs to be a more community thing. If I had some chairs set up, I would say just have a seat. You can listen. Anyways, so this Libra moon really brings all of that energy to the table, and it reminds us to have a light heart, to move forward, just taking that deep breath and letting go of all of those things that we don't need to hold on to anymore. And as we go through the rest of this chart, that thought is echoed in many, many places. So here is the natal chart for this moon. And as you can see over here with the sun and the moon, we have a huge conjunction that brings all of these planets together. And everything is touching something else. There is no planet left off by itself. So again, it is very much this bringing everything together. So we'll talk a little bit about the conjunction. We're going to talk about Pluto, and then we'll talk about lots of things. We got a lot of things going on. So this big conjunction that we have over here, oh, it's backwards in the camera. It hurts my brain. So we have Ceres, Mars, Homer, Pluto, or the Sun and Moon, Mercury, and Peleus all over here conjunct, and most of which are in Libra. So we have this very communal, very communicative, very reflective energy that really tells you to turn inward, reflect, and then let's step outward. It is encompassed by this great warrior energy because you have Peleus on one side and you have Mars on the other side, really bringing this like motivating, productive, manifesting energy with Ceres over there, really manifesting everything. Like, let's do this. Let's really step through this eclipse and come out the other side prepared and ready to manifest our new realities and create this, not create, but step into our new selves and be our authentic selves without fear or hiding parts of ourselves, just really stepping into that. So, I didn't mention it, but the South Node is in that conjunction also, which puts this conjunction into that T-square with Pluto. Now we're going to start to see that T-square separate because Pluto is now stationary direct, and it is going to start to move closer to, I want to say closer to the North Node and no longer locked in that square, which is a grand moment of transformation. This stationary time is like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon. It is that stepping forward into your new self. And it's really asking you to be true to your authentic self and step into this new, beautiful, and prosperous reality where you see that you do have all of the resources that you need. You have all of the things in front of you. You can heal. Eris and Pluto and Cryon have really came through showing you every reality that you need to see, helping you to heal through the hard times, you know, just motivating you to move forward and heal. And then now we have this Libra moon in the solar eclipse with Mercury very closely conjunct. And as we talked about before, Mercury is that mind, mouth, action kind of energy. And, putting all of this stuff into action, really encouraging you to make those changes and to speak it. Speak your truth, act your truth, go out and be that, and really step into that. So, Venus is now going into Virgo, which brings about the Virgo is about taking action, about making organization in your life, about finding those things that bring you overall wellness. And so, oh, we might have another customer. So as we step into this Venus energy, Venus is very involved with lots of other planets right now. It's in this magical rectangle that we're going to talk about. But in Virgo, it's really encouraging you to step into this new path of your wellness, of your best self, of your pure self, and to love that self. So we have, I'm going to show you the picture again. So Jupiter and Ceres make this magical trine like an extended, not trine, this magical rectangle an extended rectangle because they are 3 degrees outside of being in perfect conjunction with this. So, well, outside, not perfect, but outside the thing. But since Jupiter has had this very expansive energy and has been very involved with Uranus and is still technically conjunct to Uranus, it is this like growing rectangle. And oh, let me throw my paper. All right, so as you can see, we have the two at opposition and then these trines and sextiles around the outside. And so a magic rectangle is these two oppositions that are really calling upon you to make action and do something and find this balance, surrounded in this very positive, beneficial, supportive energy with these trines and sextiles. So this one specifically, our planets at opposition are, we have Venus and Saturn at opposition, and this is this balance between desire and responsibility. This is like lustful love versus responsible, unconditional love. And it calls you to find that balance between those two things. It is also this like, how are you manifesting your love in this world? And what beauty are you bringing to this world? And so as we ponder those thoughts and what we're stepping into this with, and how are you balanced in those aspects, we also at the same time on the other side have Jupiter at opposition to Ceres and Mars. And so Ceres and Mars are a very, very motivating, nurturing, positive energy that's like, you can do this. And Jupiter on the other side is expanding and really about growth. And since it's in retrograde right now, it's about that deep internal growth. So at opposition, it is this balance between that nurturing, supportive position, like being at home with your parents, to stepping out into the world on your own and growing, and then knowing that you can have both those things at the same time and have that imbalance and step forward with that. So even both of these oppositions aren't, I feel like, super hard oppositions because they're really encouraging you to step into your true, unconditional, loving self, to grow, excuse me, and to manifest this new growth in your life and to really just step into it. On the outside of that, with our trines and our sextiles, we have Venus and Uranus, which is conjunct to that Jupiter at the bottom, which again is about that like big changes. But this is about bringing our reserved feelings to the surface. And so it is like that little push. Like you don't have to hide who you are. You don't have to pretend to be something you're not. You can really just step into this true, authentic self and be yourself. Stop repressing things. Stop letting the world tell you to be something you're not and really step into your own self. And then we have Saturn sextile to Jupiter, which is bringing this really wise energy and reflective. Like it's like that positive intuition, beneficial intuition is a better word to say. It's like that intuition that really helps you to know that these are the things that I'm growing in, this is where I'm learning, and this is my new self. And to really see that and to be able to put that into action. And then we have Mars sextile to Venus, which is bringing in this balance between our physical love and our emotional love. And again, with this manifesting this unconditional, true, supportive love of yourself and stepping out into the world knowing that you have the support of the universe, your family, your community, all of that to really grow and develop and step into that reality and to manifest on your like manifest manifest your ideal self in this balanced, wise place to give you the strength and the courage to be your authentic self. And so this is a beautiful magic triangle. And this is happening while we're stepping out of this square that has been happening for quite some time now. So we're going to talk about Pluto. So Pluto has come out of retrograde and it is now stationary direct, which really heightens the energy of Pluto. It is a transformative energy. So Pluto represents the death card. It is that kind of energy. It is the end, finality, so that we can start something new. This is that phoenix in the burning flames to then rise again from the ashes. And this is that moment. And with all of the truths that are coming up, and especially with this Neptune, Pluto, Uranus trine happening, that is really bringing all of the truths to the surface. It's like you can't just one side tangent, and we'll talk about that. That trine is like your blinders are what's causing your disillusions or your misunderstandings or whatever, and it is really calling on you to like open up your blinders, let in this new information, see the truth, and step forward with that information and really step forward. Don't just keep your blinders on and pretend like nothing is happening. Really step into that. And so, with that trine and Pluto coming out of this retrograde and stepping out of this, we are really being called to put all of this information that we've been given, over the last 9 months. Insight into situations have been put in your face. And it's funny because, like, for me personally, some situations I've been thinking a lot about, and I'm like, oh, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. That's not real. That can't be it. That can't be the reality of this situation. But it just keeps getting put in your face. And you're like, oh, my goodness, I guess that really is the reality, and I can't just keep my blinders up and pretend like that's not happening anymore. And so it's time to make those changes. It's time to step into that. And this eclipse is that time. And so you can do some really good magic that can be that manifesting moment where you're like, bam, I'm doing this. If you're initiating yourself or you're starting as your authentic self and you want to do some kind of self initiation, this is a great time for that and really stepping into that and manifesting this. If you're doing a coven thing, this is also a great time for that. This is just when we take that deep breath, get rid of the old, step into the new, and really move into this new authentic self. And with it all being in Libra and all of this community things going on, like it's also that reality check of your community. And so I feel like this might be a rattling of many communities and people who no longer belong there or who need to be, okay, we're done with this person, to make way for these people who now belong in this community and to bring people forward and to really step into these new communities where you have the support that you need. You have the people who are there to love you as your true, authentic self, and you can really move forward. And you can let go of the fear that you might hold on to from past hurts. You can let go of the ideas like, oh, I'm not going to find whatever it is that you're looking for, because you are. And it is now, that's going to happen. So just step into this new path, make it happen. Because it's there. So you're also really being called a lot on who are you and why are you like that, and who are you when you step out into the world, and why do you act that way, and do you take responsibility for those things, and is this who you really want to be? And if when you think hard about those questions and you really answer them honestly, which is going to be hard not to do right now, and you answer that and you're like, this is who I am and this is who I want to be, and then you step into that, the people who love and support you will continue to love and support you. The people who are not good for you or who are toxic or who are not right, whatever, just aren't it, they're going to step away. They're going to go find their communities. There is a community for every person, and every person can find that community. But sometimes we get stuck thinking that we need to have this person, or we need to have it this way, or it needs to be like, oh, it doesn't have to be that way. Our energy is like a flowing web. You will come into contact, and sometimes people will stick, and sometimes it's time to let them go. And this is that moment where we really kind of shake that up a little bit and make those changes. So, talk about all that. It's crazy because everything is so interconnected. I feel like I really left something out. I guess we really didn't talk about that huge conjunction of Peleus, let me get it right, Peleus, Mercury, the Sun and Moon, Haumea, Mars, Sirius, all coming together like that. Also have the South Node in there. So they are in that Pluto T-square with everything else, and I feel like it is this accumulating energy, like bringing all this energy together to remind you that you have all of the support, you have all of the information, you have all of the wisdom, the knowledge, the ability to step into this ideal self, to step into your true, authentic self, and then step forward with that. And when you do that with, love for yourself and love for your community and love for this earth that we live on, and you step forward with that and you act with kindness and compassion for yourself and for others and understanding, and you end up resonating with this good integrity that you step out into the world with. And if every single person did this, we would have a much better world, because we wouldn't be stuck in this cycle where we are led by greed and lust and guilt and hate and fear. We would be led and driven by everybody being so happy that they're their ideal, authentic self. They can just step forward and be true to that and do that, and then they can go out and help other people because they want to just help other people, and we wouldn't have all of the horrible things that are happening right now around the world. Very, very sad reality that we live in right this second. It's terrifying as we move forward, and so much fear and greed and lust for power and control have led to this horrible, horrible place where we are manipulating and involving and coercing, and everybody's just trying to survive. And then there's these horrible things happening, and it's very sad. And, part of me was like, well, maybe I'll take a moment, like on the video or just on my whatever, to be like, let's take a moment to send out love and energy to all of those people who are actually suffering, who we don't see on the news, who live in this chaos and in this rubble, and this is their everyday life. And yes, we take those moments, and I think you should take those moments often. But we really need to we just each need to step forward to be that better person, to call out our governments, to call out our communities, to call out those in our, small communities, in our families. This, if we call out the bad behavior and we work towards making it not a reality and not a norm and not an okay thing, we go back to like public shaming or something. I don't even know, but we have to stop this behavior that's not helping us. And we need to support the people to make the changes, and we need to make the changes on an individual level, and you have to have accountability. And so this time right now that we're in astrologically with this magic rectangle and Pluto square and the trine with Neptune being at the point, really just opening up our realities to remind you, you create your reality. And that as you step forward every day and make those choices based off the information that you want to take in, and then you make those, you react to what's going on around you. How are you reacting? What are you doing in this situation? How do you feel? Is that how you want to feel? Is this really what you want to do? Is this how you want to step forward into this world? And then to take accountability for that and to say, these are the actions that I can take to manifest the reality that I want. These are the things that I can let go of, move away from, heal from, learn from, grow from, and step into this beautiful new reality where you are a healed, healthy, you know, balanced individual who doesn't have to make decisions based out of fear or lust or greed or guilt. You can make decisions based off of what is best for me and my community and the people around me, the earth, my life, and what's going to help me move forward. As we make choices that are best for ourselves, they are often choices that are truly best for the people around us and best for our community. There's always that argument of like, oh, but greed and blah. No, those aren't the choices that are truly best for you. We are a communal people. We are of a need to be in these interconnected webs and a part of communities. And in order to do that, you have to be a decent person. You have to be a good person. You have to be generous, yet supportive, yet strong enough to stand up and say, this is mine, and we're going to work through this and we can figure it out. You have to find that healthy balance. And so this time, this is astrological moment that we're happening, is really calling out all of those things that I said. It is really just telling you, take accountability, be your authentic self, step into your power, step forward with your power, act with understanding, compassion, love, this true love, not lustful love, not love for whatever, but true, authentic love for yourself. And then you step out into the world to reflect that out, and you put out that authentic love, and it is going to come back to you, and you're going to find that you have this beautiful community that you can really step into. So a lot going on astrologically, really all boils down to that thought there. And I really encourage you to take that moment and sit and think and ponder on Saturday morning. But as we approach the moments of this eclipse, and ask yourself, what do I need to take accountability for? What do I need to learn from? What lessons do I need to move forward with? And how can I truly heal and let go of the past, heal this generational trauma, heal this long standing pains that you've been having, and really step into this and manifest this new beginning with a better understanding, with true, authentic power that comes from a beautiful, loving, beautiful self. So, I could probably rant about this all day. I won't. I really encourage all of you to do that and to really just step out your door with kindness and compassion and love and good integrity, and as you are, because you are who you should be and you are an amazing person. We are each bringing some amazing thing to the table. And the more that you are you, the more you are able to bring that to the table, and the better the table will be. So, many blessings to all of you. I hope that you have a phenomenally blessed solar eclipse. I hope that this dark moon really grants you the reflection that you need in order to do those things so you can manifest your true self. Many blessings.